meeting of the Upper Allen Township Park and Recreation Board. I'd like to ask everyone to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Would like to announce that this meeting will be live streamed on Zoom for those who wish to attend virtually. A recording of tonight's session will be made available on YouTube probably sometime tomorrow. You can access it very easily on the township website. Do a roll call, and this will include everyone in the audience. Starting to my left, please.
Nick Christie.
Jason Sapoznik.
Jeff Williams.
Christina Dryden.
Dan Harrison.
Jeffrey.
Jeff Lukey.
Carmen Williams.
Thank you. The approval of the minutes. They were kind of long. Does anyone have any changes, adjustments, corrections to offer at this point? Not hearing any. Does someone want to put a motion forward, please?
I move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, my announcements is that I move to buy new AV equipment. First of all, I want to thank the park. It's the microphone, it's not me. I mean, I've had all my shots, it's okay. I want to thank the parks crew again for clearing the pathways on all our parks. It is a lower tier from our main roads and our residential areas, but there are people out before the last snowstorm and after this one, which was less. I certainly did see people out walking and using the periphery paths that we put in all of our parks. So thank you to your team, because, and particularly for the dog park, because those people will take their dogs out in anything, apparently, which I'll talk about later. It's kind of nice to credit staff again for a job well done. The train station that was put in over at Winding Hill North has won a Pennsylvania Recreation Park Society Excellence in Recreation and Parks Award. Another one this year. They've had a couple in the past. When I write these awards, it's very easy to do because I think what you gentlemen do is exceptional. I did chair this awards committee for Pennsylvania Rec and Park Society for 2 years, and I saw the submissions coming in, and it is difficult to win this award. There's amazing things going on in our Commonwealth, and I want to announce publicly, and I did at the Board of Commissioners meeting, the last one, commend you and announce that will be awarded at the banquet at the annual state conference on March 26th, I believe. Yes. And so good job again. Another plaque for your wall. I want to thank our applicants. We have a couple tonight to speak with for the 2 vacancies we have on this board. This board has impact, I feel. I think it is fairly rare for a board of commissioners or any elected political body to really listen to Park and Recreation Advisory Boards. That has not been my experience, but we are asked to give opinions on just about everything. We have, and we've been listened to. So I thank the Board of Commissioners for that, and I think that we're asked with meaning. What else did I have? Oh, Allison Appleby, our new Assistant Township Manager. Thank you for stepping into the breach. Welcome. We're not a tough group, but we're a little left of center. I believe that's all I have for a chairman's report. At this point, we'll take public comments if they're not somewhere else on the agenda tonight. Does someone have something to share tonight? I was going to ask all of our great sports groups. Doug? The microphone, if you could. The green button at the bottom.
Figure that out. Okay. Doug Marsico, been involved with Upper Island Mechanicsburg Baseball Association for a number of years. I just wanted a few things to, first of all, to report that our spring registration numbers are once again outstanding. We are nearing 600 registrations for the spring season. That includes ages 4 up through 18, and also our special needs program known as Buddy Ball.
Yeah.
At UAMBA, we try to provide, our volunteers provide a structured supervised youth baseball program, allows our youth to spend time on the field with their friends and classmates and building lifetime memories. Our ability to do so would not be possible without the support of Upper Island Township, and we thank you for that. When I was in attendance last month, I did hear several candidates. They all seem to have a lot to bring to the table, and very impressive for the vacancy on this board. I was a little struck that no one had mentioned youth sports in their remarks. I know Jim brought that to light at the end of the meeting before the big teddy bear got emotional. But Upper Island Township has always been very supportive of its youth sports programs by providing first-class park space and fields. We hope that commitment will continue both financially and in manpower as new leadership takes hold. Hopefully the priorities are the same as it's been in the past. The township's investment in our community's children with sports is invaluable. Youth sports, and I know I'm preaching to the choir right now, but youth sports provides children with physical health, lifelong healthy habits, builds strength and coordination, and promotes a child's overall wellness. Importantly, it gets the kids out of the house, away from screen time, which, as we know, is leading to a lot of devastating issues, side effects like depression and anxiety. Beyond the physical benefits, youth sports fosters important life skills, teamwork, leadership, discipline, resilience. Young athletes learn how to set goals, and it's a big one in baseball, learn how to handle success and disappointment. And anybody that knows baseball knows that you're a great player if you get on 3 times out of 10. It's a very humbling sport. But all sports, of course, that we have, bring different aspects to the table. And these skills, for children, translates into future academic achievement and future careers. Our main facility for baseball, as you know, is Fisher Park. It is widely viewed as the premier baseball complex in our region. People come here for tournaments and they're just wowed and they're envious to some extent. We host a statewide tournament every year. and our guests from all over the state always leave with high praise for the facility. So again, we thank the township for that. During the season, Fisher Park serves as a community hub for children and families. I invite anyone, and I know, Jeff, you've been there. You come down on a Friday night, it's just spectacular.
I can hear you from our deck with the cheers. It's great.
The park is filled with kids on the field, on our beautiful fields, families, grandparents, extended families cheering. But also, I just love the fact that beyond that, on the playground, the basketball courts, the tennis courts, I mean, it's all filled with kids and families, and they're out of the house, and it's a great experience. And the walking paths are used. It's a great walking path by families, adults, of course, the dogs, and we all love to see the dogs. So it's really a neat experience. And it wouldn't be possible, again, without your support. And don't forget about our busy concession stand, too. It's always, it's a very nice concession stand. We appreciate all the work the township has done for us with that. And that money is very important that we raise in the concession stand to support the program. So again, I just wanted to close by indicating that, for any new leadership, that we hope they, like you have in the past, appreciate the value that the youth sport programs provide to our community. And we ask for your continual support, both now and in the future. We are softball, soccer, and baseball, lacrosse, and we're all growing. And that means that we're probably going to be coming at some point looking for more space and more fields. We can't think of a better investment.
Thank you, Doug. Couple things with that. I was hoping Mr. Salter would come up. Come on up, Jim. I'll make my comments when you're done. I was going to ask you to come up anyway. Softball's still registering?
We're just finishing up. So again, Jim Salter up around Mechanicsburg girls softball. So our numbers are trending in a astronomical way. So 137 new girls are going to play. So
New
Just think
new registrants?
that we're 137 more girls playing in 26 than played in 25.
Okay.
So tell me that's not growth, We are looking at, we're updating 2 of our sheds. We had wind damage, blew 2 of our sheds over. So we're working on getting sponsors for that. We already have 2 people identified to be able to sponsor that. We're looking at finishing finally our dugout structure. We believe we've got the template to be able to complete that this spring as well. But 137 new girls playing, which is great. Year over year, we're 18% higher in 14U, 34% higher in 12U, 30% higher in 10U, 38% higher in 8U, and 17% higher in 6U. So all numbers are up. And to lead to that, the Mechanicsburg high school team has 33 girls trying out. 33 girls. So before they could barely even field a team, people in this room know that. They could field a team. Now they're going to field a JV team and probably have to make cuts because there's that many girls that were funneling through the system here. And I have to beg to differ with Doug. I think Winding Hills Park is the premier park. It is beautiful. It's got
Baseball.
Okay, well, we've got the premier softball park, trust me. With the playground there, we average about 9 kids a year that girls are playing on that park, and then they see the softball, then they come over and ask questions, and we get them signed up and register. So 9 or so, in the spring, it's always, bouncing around, but they see it, They come over and we let them register and we let them play. So we're going to do a softball camp this year again, just for our group. We know that Park and Rec does one as well, but there's such an outcry for softball. They love it, and we're going to continue that thing. We're also grateful that we have Keystone FC with us at the park because they're a great partner and we work well together and we enjoy the park. We enjoy Chad and Eddie giving us the support. We support them. And like I said, just last time I didn't hear about youth sports, and with 137 girls, we got to talk about it. So thank you.
Thank you. I will mention publicly that Mr. Salter has brought the softball program back over recent years to an incredible level. And thank you for that. I'm sure all the residents appreciate that, certainly the girls that are playing. Secondly, this morning while I was in therapy, physical therapy, having my leg bent in unnatural positions, the therapist confided to me that he has a 9-year-old son playing baseball at Fisher, and he complimented the fields. He says, "I can't believe how nice your fields are." So I'll pass that along for the public record. I would also reiterate what I have several times before, that parks are good business as well as all of the health benefits, spiritual benefits of our natural areas. That I sat on a committee with the Cumberland County tourism folks, and they estimated, and this is probably 12 years ago, that for every person that comes to an event anywhere in the county, they figure it's $22 of impact to the local economy. So that's making Chick-fil-A pretty happy. Some of our local businesses, because we have state tournaments. We have the tournaments, the great tournaments that softball does, the wonderful ones that soccer does. And when they're here, they spend money at our businesses. We may not have as many businesses on Carlisle Pike, thank goodness, but that's all money in the pockets of our local vendors. So that's a part of sports people don't talk about too much, along with everything you shared, gentlemen, which I appreciate. And I really have enjoyed my time on this board working with such great youth sports groups. It's not usually the case. So thank you for that. Any other anybody else? Somebody else want to talk? Okay. All right, now we're going to get any other public comments at this point. All right, let's work our way through our visitors, starting with our commissioners. Mr. Fairchild, do you have anything to share tonight?
Commissioner Clark is traveling with her job tonight and couldn't make it, so she apologizes for that. And I just wanted to thank the vacancy candidates for coming out and throwing their hat in the ring for the Park and Rec Board. And I think it's a good sign. I think we're up to 6 applicants altogether, so that's a good, omen for what the board does and the community support. So thank you.
All right, thank you. Chad.
Yep, just a few things. Generations is still closed. So with that last snow, there's still snow cover on the paths and the parking lots. And with the parking lot being stone, it's difficult for us to plow. It is supposed to be 56 this weekend, so we're hoping that melts off and get that open again. Our crews are going to be starting a sewer project at Fisher Park. We are working with Shiloh for the contractor. We're going to put a gravity fed sewer line from the bathrooms down to behind the north field. We're going to hopefully get that done in a few weeks and get it wrapped up before baseball season starts. And then Winding Hill restrooms, we have in the budget to epoxy coat the floors, and that contractor's coming in the 5th and 6th of March, so the bathrooms will be closed down there. But we'll make both those announcements on Facebook as well.
Great, thank you. Eddie.
I only have 2 quick things for this section. I'm going to be reaching out to all the sports groups for their spring registration numbers once they have those. So hopefully I'll have those for you guys for next meeting. And we are just now starting to ramp up on event planning for this year, and I will have more on that as well for our next meeting.
Thank you. Tiffany.
Good evening. I shared the January registration numbers. I just want to highlight some other things that have been going on. So in January, our recreation swim, we had 36 people come to the indoor pool, which, again, I think I talked about this last month. If you haven't been there, it's beautiful. Definitely check it out. So we're excited to have families having indoor swimming opportunities again. Saturday is our last day of rec basketball, so we've been going since December, so we're excited for that season to end and kind of start into the spring when they're all playing baseball and softball and soccer. And March 7th is our annual dance. The theme is Let It Glow, so we're really excited for that coming up. And our summer program guide, it should hopefully be mailed out next week. You guys should start seeing it. And our summer positions, we currently have the playground program and summer adventure camp posted on the school district website. So if you know anybody that's interested, they are all already posted.
Go ahead, I'm sorry. Oh, you're just fixing her glasses, huh? How's summer hiring going?
We just posted the positions this week, so we have a plethora of applicants,
Really?
which is great.
Outstanding.
Yeah, we're super lucky.
Thank you for this report. Do you give a copy of this to Alexis? Of course you do.
Yep.
I'm always 2 steps behind, but I get there.
Anything else?
Any other questions from anybody? No?
All right. Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Guys doing a great job as usual. All right, we're going to go through park assignments, I'm sorry.
You missed me, Jeff.
Laura, I just,
You skipped me.
didn't I do that last time?
I don't know. Last time, I think I reported that I had submitted our annual report for Birdtown. Well, we got the results back literally today. I got an email saying that we'd been promoted to silver tier status, which means we jumped over bronze status and we actually went up 2 tiers in the, Birdtown hierarchy. So I'm super excited. There's just one higher tier, which is gold. So, that is the goal. But anyway, that's all I had to report on Birdtown today.
Do we get stickers or something for that? If we're
No.
on the committee?
No, we don't really get anything other than,
I think everybody
Thank you,
should
Mel.
realize what an outstanding job Alexis has done with Birdtown to get it to this point. Staff as well, but Alexis took the lead. She runs the meetings. Appreciate your leadership, and I always look forward, even at 8 o'clock in the morning, to come to those meetings. So thank you. All right, park assignments. Anybody have anything? Did anybody get out to a park that they could see?
Just when like Chad mentioned, when the paths are available, there's people on them. It really doesn't matter the temperature.
Yeah.
So.
And I will say, even at Friendship, I saw a few trails for some sleds that were going down a little bit over there. So some people are getting use. And I will say there was a branch that was kind of down in the parking lot on the south side. You could say branch is maybe a larger chunk of the tree.
All right. I didn't drive out. Anybody else?
No, I concur. Like every time I've driven by I always see people. So it's great.
People are asking about it. There was a social posted, Generations Park open yet? It's under 8 inches of snow and it's a gravel parking lot. We can't plow it. Maybe you could get in there, but you wouldn't be able to get out. So I'm sorry, that's still closed because the parks are really beautiful. One of the things on my list is the dog park. I'd like to announce that we did get a sponsorship plate done for Jim and Karen Cochran, who I believe for the 6th year made a donation. There is a special fund that the township manages for the dog park with remaining funds from a grant from Purina, plus any donations or sponsorship that we get. So that I had that plate done, and we thank them as we do every year. But we also, this is a time of the year where we get an annual report from the Dog Park Committee, which is a subcommittee of this board. So I'd like to ask Carmen Williams to come up and share, please.
Hello, I'm Carmen Williams, Chairperson of the Dog Park Governance Committee. And as Jeff said, we are a subcommittee of your Park and Rec Board.
Address, please.
334 East Meadow Drive. Thank you. I'd like to give a brief verbal report for our committee. Our committee consists of 5 township residents, an ex officio member from Daybreak Church, and also an ex officio member from your board, and that happens to be Jeff. And as you know, he regularly reports on attendance, maintenance, and sponsorships. So I'll just speak about what the committee's focus has been. Since last February, the Dog Park Committee has conducted quarterly meetings with an agenda to discuss dog park issues. We coordinated open houses in the fall and in the spring, and the gates are unlocked at that time so that the community can come, bring their dog, see if their dog is a good candidate for the dog park before submitting a registration. We participated in the Township's Fall Festival in September. We had a booth to provide information about the dog park. We take note of any maintenance or behavioral issues while we're at the park with our dogs, and we pass that information along to Jeff. We post notices and keep a supply of registration forms at the park. We maintain a Facebook page called Upper Allen Dog Park Friends. And by we, I want to acknowledge that really Jeff has been the one who's completed many of these tasks. He keeps the registration forms stocked. He posts signage. He unlocks the gates for the open houses. He communicates issues with the Chad Krebs. He buys replacement cork for the signboard that we have there. So I want to say thank you, Jeff, for all of your extra time that you spend doing that.
Thank you. I'm a credit to the community.
Yeah. The annual meeting of the dog park will be held here on March 11th. Registered users and interested persons in the community are welcome to attend and be a part of the discussion if desired. Lastly, the Dog Park Committee wishes to thank the Parks Department for its communication with our committee and for the outstanding maintenance provided at this facility. The dog park uniquely serves many residents that other township parks do not. It's a great place for socialization for residents who happen to have dogs. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. I will say there are cliques down at that dog park. There are groups that get together a certain time every day. And they may not know each other's names. They know their dogs' names. It really is a pretty neat place to go to. Right now, I drove by and drove down in there. There were 6 inches of snow on the ground after the first snowfall a couple weeks ago. There are 8 big dogs out there. Frolicking is the only word I could use. They were just all over the place, and the doggy parents were kind of together talking or clustering for warmth. I'm not sure, but it's pretty amazing what people will take their dogs out into because they're going to have to clean them up when they get in the car. But thank you for that, Carmen. Chad, do we have any update that you want to give on any kind of capital project there?
I have it in my presentation for later.
Oh, thank you. Okay. We're now at the point where we're looking at our old business. And we are fortunate to have a total of 6 applicants for the 2 vacancies currently on this board. The Board of Commissioners has decided to really make an effort to get out there and get people to apply for vacancies, not just in this board, but all of the volunteer boards the township has. We've had 4 interviews that this board has done in At the last meeting, we have 2 for tonight. I want to reiterate that, like I did at the start of the meeting, that this township, this management, this Board of Commissioners has always come to this board to get input on decisions on parks, for equipment, for policy, even though we're a advisory board, not a policy board, to seriously take our input, and they've acted on it. There's a reason that the first thing that children do when they go to Friendship Park is go to the tall structure. They want to climb all the way up that. That was the input from this board. Now, we have amazing professionals, and the communication between the professionals and this board, I think, is exceptional. It's why I'm still doing it. I really enjoy working in this environment. So we have 2 people tonight that we will speak with. Then we'll have a pause right here. We can't leave to discuss it because of the sunshine law. We can't go hide in the back. So I have a blind survey or poll that I will hand to the 5 members that are here to rank everybody that we've spoken with. But I want to reiterate what Mr. Fairchild said. Thank you for showing interest, and thank you for going through the process of applying and showing up. We will take things in order, and there'll be just 3 questions that I will ask with follow-up questions from other members of the board. One of the reasons we do it this way, and we've always done it this way, is we like to see people come in and see who we are and see how these meetings run and what are we talking about, who we are, to go back to the 70s. It's important to know what you're getting into because this is an active board. We have 2 people to speak tonight. Is Kenan Handley here tonight?
I don't think he's here. He did respond with confirmation he was coming, but I don't see him.
Okay. Well, someone I've spoken to a number of times, Jeff, is it Kluge?
Yes.
I got it right, 1 for 1. Jeff, could you come up to the microphone, please? And we'll just ask you the 3 simple questions. And thank you for being on Birdtown.
Absolutely, thank you.
The first question is, why are you interested in becoming involved with Park and Recreation in an advisory capacity?
I was going to say, I wanted to give props out to Doug because him starting out with talking about baseball. I've been a resident of Upper Allen for probably most of my life. I started in Upper Allen baseball when I was a kid. I transitioned to soccer at that point. So, graduated from Mechanicsburg High School. We raised our family here. Both my boys, enjoyed the park system. I remember Friendship before there was, I remember Fisher before there was Friendship. And then that's where we had Mechanicsburg Soccer Club. And that's where we did all of our games. And then Keystone obviously came in and took over there. My boys did Winding Hill for lacrosse and soccer. So, it's just the evolution of what I've, grown here. I just want to continue to see that and enjoy the park system for, families enjoying it.
Outstanding. What do you feel qualifies you to do this, or what can you bring to the table for this team?
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if you've seen it, but, I submitted the application, for.
We all saw it.
Okay, great. Not to reiterate too much information, but, I have over 30 years of Commonwealth experience. The Department of Environmental Protection, the Governor's Budget Office overseeing DEP, Department of Conservation and Natural Resources, Parks and Rec funding. So, and I currently serve as the lead analyst on the House Appropriations Committee, the Republican Committee, and the Capitol. And that is my purview to oversee conservation and recreation issues at that level. So from a funding standpoint, that's where I'm a little sensitive and concerned about making sure to invest properly. And it is a big local investment that Upper Allen's always done, and we can leverage state funding as well where possible.
Thank you. Where do you see our parks? Where would you like to see our parks in the future? Where do you think we should be going?
Well, selfishly, like I said, I mean, I grew up in the park system and seeing how it was small, and I can't believe how much it's grown over time. So it's being mindful of maintaining what we have, and then investing in what we have, but also, I mean, I didn't start out when you asked, like, where do I live? I live in Kimberly Meadows and 45 Helm Drive. My neighborhood's closed. We don't have a park there. So I'm kind of sensitive to seeing how everyone has a lot of recreational equipment in their backyards and things like that. And we have parks obviously within the vicinity. But my neighborhood is a good microcosm of the township. We have a lot of young families, retired people, mixed families, just different ages. That's what the park system has to be representing and serving the needs of everyone too. I'm lucky because my boys got to take advantage of the park system like I did. And it's even better when they were taking advantage of it because we had multiple fields, whether it was baseball, lacrosse, soccer, everything, tennis courts too. That was great. It's just a matter of making sure you maintain what we have, invest in that and improve it. And then I think, again, growing where we can too. That's the whole point. Continue to grow with active fields, but also open space.
Thank you. All right. Follow up.
I don't mind if I do. Hi, Jeff. Nice to meet you.
You too.
How do you see yourself adding value to the board's work over the next few years?
Like I said, I think just my perspective of being a long-term resident, both growing up here and, having my kids grow up here. Personally, like Jeff had, kind of thrown at me, I'm volunteering in Birdtown, doing that kind of stuff. Early on, I was involved with Mechanicsburg Soccer Club, volunteering at the school district. Early on, when I briefly didn't live here, I was over in Silver Spring, had my first house there. Volunteered a little bit there. They had an EAC there that we did, Environmental Action Committee. So, trying to bring like my personal experience like that, but also mostly my professional experience of, understanding, park and rec issues from the state level. Yeah.
All right. Anything else, folks? Well, you're getting off easy tonight. Thank you, Jeff. Have a seat. We are going to take just a couple minutes. I ask for your patience as we basically fill out a ballot and make recommendations on the total of 6 people. And thank you again, 6 people for, pass that down, please. You need a pen? Oh, you've got one there? Okay. Everybody comes prepared for class here. They bring their own pens and all. You would, self-explanatory, I talked to you about it. So bear with us. We appreciate your patience. Folks, I am going to remove Keenan Hadley from this list simply because we didn't have the opportunity to hear from him. I understand that the commissioners may be talking to folks as well, so they can, whatever's going on with him, we appreciate the fact that he applied. Drum roll.
But there's only five.
Hmm?
Fortunately, there's only five of us.
Well, that's true. I'd be here for a while. I'd be borrowing fingers and toes. Okay. All right. What I'm seeing is a lot of consensus up here. I should note that for the record. And the two individuals, again, thank you, that this board will recommend to the Board of Commissioners to consider, as they always have in the past, are Lauren Sanker and Jeff Kluge. Those are the two people that fairly clearly were more of the consensus of this board. I don't think we need any questions on that. We need to have a motion to recommend that to the Board of Commissioners.
Motion. Second.
Too slow on your
I know.
trigger. All in favor
Aye.
Aye.
and opposed? There's no opposition because it's not easy to come into a public forum and speak. And I deemed it inappropriate to have discussion on the merits of individual candidates in the public forum. So that's the reason I did it this way. And I did it this way to avoid the possibility of ties because there's only five of us. So that is our recommendation, Commissioner. We have a motion that I assume will be that you're aware of, so you can take to the board or whoever may want to take it. So I understand there'll be other discussions next week and that you'll make a decision on March the 4th. Is that correct, sir? All right. Anyone that wants to attend that meeting, I will be there. And thank you again. Jeff, thanks for coming out. I know how busy you are. Go get us some money, will you?
I probably get something myself.
Well, share. Okay. All right. On my agenda, we might be able to move along. All right, we are to the Simpson Park 88 Creek access update.
Yep,
Mr.
so-
Krebs.
Start with a recap. I pulled up a picture of Simpson Park currently. So we were given $100,000. We were given $100,000 through Thomas Kutz's office that's monitored through DCNR as a grant money for a project for accessibility to the yellow breaches. I think we got that money in 2022. So we've been having ongoing conversations about what to do with that money, where to put the project. Obviously, we talked about it a lot in these meetings. So last part it was left off was doing a kayak launch / boat launch with some commissioner feedback to add a boat launch to our kayak launch that we've been discussing at Simpson Park. So last meeting, you guys made a motion to move forward with that project, not move forward with it, but recommend that project to the board. And since then, the engineer has given us some drawings and a budget on the project. So this is down at Simpson Park at the area I just showed you. It'll be an ADA paved trail down to, this is the boat launch, which is a gravel base, and then it has a fabric style top on it to basically drag your kayaks or boats down into the water. And then alongside of it is the ADA kayak launch that we've been discussing in the past. So it would be paired that you can get in either way. We have an accessible option or a traditional option. Just to go down through this is the existing site. And this is kind of a detail, it's probably hard to see, of what the boat launch would be out of. Like I said, this is basically an aggregate base with a geofabric top on it. So versus concrete, which damages the bottom of kayaks and things like that. I did ask about maintenance or longevity. They have a couple of these in the field. They're seeing 10, 15-year lifespans out of them, and they're actually fairly cheap. So even if we would have to replace the top down the road, it shouldn't be an issue. And this is the kayak launch from Board Safe that was recommended through the state when we were looking for options for this project, which is an aluminum docking system with an aluminum ramp down to it. So as I said, we have $100,000. It's a no match money grant. With adding a couple things to this project, the engineer is estimating $117,000 for the project, and then added a 10% contingency, so it brings it up to $129,000, which is over our $100,000. He's also expecting probably around $20,000 in engineering fees until they get the permits, put it out to bid, all those fun things. So we're looking at about $150,000 for this project. We do have funding options. We have our 38 fund, which is tax funded at the end of the year after projected expenses, and after the tax revenue will probably be around $200,000 in that account. And then our 39 fund, which is our development fees, will be around $172,000 at the end of the year. We just received $55,200 from the Alden Chase development. Another thing with that account, that money is supposed to rotate within 3 years of us receiving it. So we do have options. I just got these plans today. I just got the budget today. So I'd like to ask you guys for a motion or recommendation on proceeding and either using some of our funds or making modifications.
All right, like comments from the board, and then we may have some comments from the audience.
Was there a timeline on that 100,000? I can't remember. Wasn't there a time we had to use it?
They didn't specifically give us a timeline, but when I talked to them at the end of the year, they want to see the money used. So, and we did buy some time by giving them an idea that what we want to do. So they do know, and we did have a motion from the BOC to sign a resolution to use the money at Simpson. So they do know we're in progress.
So CS Davidson made the estimate of what they think it would cost. Is what you're saying?
Correct.
And then it would go to bid, and then ultimately,
Yep.
Is it usually in line with that, with what they're thinking?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it may take a little while to go to bid because I don't know how long it's going to take to get the permit for this project. I know they've had conversations about the kayak launch specifically, and they don't foresee any issues. Just depends how long DEP takes to issue the permit.
Well, I like it because I have a few mobility issues lately, apparently. And getting into a canoe, probably wouldn't be a kayak. That would allow me to do that. I think there's an assumption that when you see an ADA compatible or compliant apparatus like this or amenity like this, that it's just wheelchairs. It is not. You know, people can fish off of that. There are folks like myself who apparently are a little bit larger than we were a few years ago, that safely could get into a kayak or a canoe. And this is, it's not free money, but folks, it's $100,000. I wouldn't want to see any other municipality get, oh, here's $100,000. What are you going to do with that? we've been talking about this for a while. Do you have any comments from the audience? Yes. Yeah, you gotta do.
Also, the state said.
You need to come up here. I hear the new knee is working pretty well. Can you hit the button on the mic?
Tanya Brown, 834 Grantham Road. So if we go back to when we got this land from the Simpsons for building Bowmansdale Hills, I don't remember the name of the Bowman's Hills. Is that the name of the? Well, the Simpsons used to own that area and they sold it off. So the money for Simpson, this park, came as a donation of these 15 acres. As a park board, all those years ago, Chad, I have no idea how old this park is, but it's got to be plus 20, right? I don't know. It's old. And we had a comprehensive plan. This was part of the comprehensive plan. And I think it's probably the only thing that is not there yet. And it's a need in regards to accessibility for the individuals from the time you're born until you go to the grave. That could be ADA accessible. And at some point in your life, 33% of the people that are not mobile will become unmobile due to a surgery or whatever at some point in their life. So it's not just like what you just said. So it's low hanging fruit. I think they need to find the money and get this done because we've been talking about it for, I think, close to 20, 30 years now. Yeah. We had something from Fish and Game at one point. I don't remember what it was, but it wasn't enough. This is close to be enough. So.
Yeah, Fish and Game is good for littler stuff.
It was littler stuff. Yeah.
Thank you. For those of you that don't know, Ms. Brown was Recreation and Parks Director for Mechanicsburg for us for 30 plus years. Mr. Salter.
And one heck of a good basketball coach. Good job last night. Cats win there, beating them Cedar Cliff Colts. So as we continue on to the state tournament there. But Jim Salter, 8 Bradford Court, and all in support of this. Just one question, Chad, is as that creek rises, and a lot of times we get a lot of severe flooding, we had a dry hydrant down there that was into that area. And during one of those storms, as those currents ripped through there, it ripped that dry hydrant out. We never replaced it because of that, because it's very rigid. And so my only question is there a way that you're going to be able to pull that back pending any really high waters or storms that could potentially take that downstream?
So one thing with the state's recommendation with this company is they back that type of storm events. They had these through hurricane events where the engineer did locate an area. It is tucked back in a little bit, so it's out of the main flow, and it has a approximately 30-foot ramp on it, so it can fluctuate up and down like 15 feet, I think. So, yeah, it's cabled in and then also anchored into the ground. So, yep.
Yeah, it's come up before and been checked out with the pros. Good question. Any other comments? All right, we are looking at a project that initially was for the ADA pier, but also pending discussion from our last meeting, a boat ramp as well, which would cost additional monies. And Chad, you said you saw a way to fund that? Okay.
I mean, through the two accounts, like I said, the tax funded account, the 38 fund, which will have about 200,000 year end, and then the 39 fund. And we actually don't have any projects budgeted for the 39 fund this year.
Okay, so the money's there.
Yes.
Okay. You all want to make a recommendation for this total project?
I think we should do.
Okay, we have a motion. Okay.
Yeah, no. Second.
Okay, the motion is to recommend to the Board of Commissioners that we provide that they provide the extra funding from existing funds for the pier and the boat ramp. All in favor?
Right.
Opposed? Opposed, you have to go home. Thank you. I'm excited about this, and thanks, Todd. All right, on to something that has become more easy. The field schedule approval. You all saw the extensive use of the fields and the permitting process. Eddie, we're still using that same software. It's working well.
Yeah, there's an example up there that Chad put up on the board. So the 2026 field schedule has finally been finalized, and all conflicts with dates and times are fixed. So we're here tonight to see if we can get these approved by you all.
All right. Any comments? Motion?
Motion.
Just one comment, and it's really for all the sports groups, is that, you know, Doug was here earlier with baseball talking about needing more capacity at some point. And I guess in order for that to happen, we need to just see that the fields are being used at maximum capacity as much as possible before we look at other options down the road, either lighting or more fields or whatever. Just that, so the sports groups know that if the field space is allotted, make sure they're being used. Clearly it's packed, and there's probably somebody wanting to use a field if there's not a field available. So that's all I have to say. And it's, I mean, this system seems a lot better than the manual, sitting down with pen and paper and working through it all.
A crayon. It is blanket booked, and that is not something you can really get away with or away from. You have to have your time, and you have to do it before your schedules are done. Sir, don't be shy. Come on up.
Just one thing on that is, one thing that does put a little bit of a hiccup in that, or hampering that sometimes, is some of the fields that we have, the either the dugouts or even the infields have not been receiving the correct amount of Dynatext, or the dugouts are completely swamped and muddy. So you'll go down there in Winding Hills Park and you'll drive down through there and you'll see that that field cannot be used. The field could be raked out and stuff like that, but the dugouts are completely underwater. And I'm talking days that it has to dry out before the field can actually be used. So there are times that we can't even use them because we can't even get in the dugouts. The girls are completely filled with mud. And, you know, field 3, the big, larger field, is the worst one at it. The other ones have concrete dugouts, so it's a little less painful there, but there is days that, you know, weather will prevent it, but also if it's heavy enough, it could prevent it for multiple days that the field's not used, even though it technically could be. So just throwing that out there. And then we didn't blanket like a lot of the fields like all summer long. You know, there's availability there for them to play. And we thank Eddie and Chad for, you know, putting this together. It does very much help us. We've had several times where other organizations were on the field, and if we have the field and we have the permit, we just show that permit and they get off nicely instead of a confrontation. So, but yeah, with the attendance, what, you know, Mr. Spoznik's talking about is, you know, 137 new girls. This year, we're going to have to put 3 teams on a field a night to practice. So they're going to have to do some sort of rotation, but now we don't have lights. It's darkness comes and then it gets better as the summer goes, but that's when our season weans out. So 3 teams per field is even going to be more cramped. So a lot of times we're just going to throw rubber bases out in the open fields and have kids play there. We're utilizing the Borough of Mechanicsburg. There's some fields over by the Filbert Street School. We're trying to partner with as many churches as we can to do that. So we are looking for availability, but still, as the you know, it's not like we're just looking it up around to say, hey, you need to supply all these fields. we're looking elsewhere. We're trying to partner with Mechanicsburg. We're trying to partner with churches. But, you know, Upper Allen, if you look at our mark, we're about 87% of the girls come from Upper Allen Township. It's all the brand new, you know, Hertzler Road project and all these new homes that are coming in. Influx of girls are coming in and want to play. So, you know, Legacy Park is a little bit of that, but we're going to try to utilize every field we can. But I just wanted to point that out. So if you go down there and see it, look at the dugouts, and if they're swamped, that's the reason why they're not used.
Hey, sorry, can I say something?
Yeah.
Jim, we are planning on doing a French drain drainage system this year in that corner of the field 3 where the dugouts are.
There you go. Hey, you're pretty good. Hey, we're good. Anything else? All right, we have the fields approved. And now I'm excited to hear the annual report from Mr. Krebs for the parks this year.
So I do one of these every year. I did it a little different this year. So we have that new software. We have had that for a year now. The rec department uses software as well. So I tried to gear this a little more towards some statistics as well as the projects and things we did. So it may be a little more lengthy, so bear with me. So in 2025, each of these slides is going to go over a different little aspect of our parks. The first one's our joint recreation. So currently, well, we're working on it, but currently with Mechanicsburg Pool, we have an agreement with them and an agreement with the Kosher Park. And last year we had 760 pool passes for our Upper Allen residents. We work with Simpson Library on a couple of things. They do an event at Whining Hill South every Tuesday over the summer, doing story times for different age groups. Last year they had 869 attendees throughout the summer. We partner with Go Cumberland, who is a adversary of WellSpan Health, who partners with the libraries to do trails. They put like a little post out in the park, and then it has a thing for kids to basically do a stencil over it. And they track the usage and who all logs their hours and the miles they walk. So last year we had a post at Fisher Park. So we only had one last year, and we received 453 visits through that. We were the highest in the county for that program. And the kids logged 249 miles that they walked during those visits. So with our joint rec agreement with Tiffany that reports on all the programs. So last year they offered 241 programs to our residents. 2,071 residents of our residents participated in those programs. And along with the playground program that they do, last year we did that a little different as well, where we split it to Whining Hill South and Fisher instead of just Fisher. And we had 751 kids attend that. And they also do a free meal program with the school, and they served 426 lunches through that program. Our park usage that we've tracked, we have 2,050 kids in the local sports groups. We had 116 pavilion rentals last year, and we have 19 different organizations using the fields. We issued 56 vendor permits, so that's food trucks, people that come to set up at some of the sports groups to sell things or promote things. Throughout the township, we have 42 reservable spaces. So that's for pavilions, fields. We consider the parks because they do like 5Ks and stuff. So we had 5,626 reservations last year. So out of all those calendars you guys received that Eddie put in one by one, that's how many reservations we get for the year. Community impact, obviously last year was our 175th anniversary. So it was a little different for us. We had a lot more events than we're used to. We had 17 events. Out of those 17 events, we had 35 event days. We're estimating 7,500 residents attended, largest being the Fall Fest. We were estimating about 5,000 attending that. And then through fundraising, we received $35,000 in fundraising for the events, which mainly went to the drone show. Just quickly running down through them, we had our Generations opening. We did a history speaker series here where we had 4 different speakers on different nights. We had the Band Wango Park Pass. We did an emergency services sensory touch-a-truck at the fire company. We do our Treat Tuesdays, which we've been doing yearly, our Food Truck Fridays. We tried to do a yoga in the park that actually got rained out at Fisher. We're going to try to do that again this year in partnership with the yoga studio down there. We had our community art project. We had the movie in the park at Friendship, our field day, Fall Fest. We did 2 bird walks down at Generations. We had our train viewing platform opening ceremony. We had 1 Birds of Prey presentation last year and then 1 again this year at the beginning of the year. Our yearly tree lighting. We did a game night. So the game night and field day are in partnership with Children's Miracle Network. So we raised a little bit of money for that too, for them. And then we did our Paws with Claws at the end of the year. These are just pictures of the events. So I'll just run through these kind of quick, but Generations opening at the top where we got some public input on some of the plans that we have, the speaker series, the Sensory Touch a Truck Day. We didn't really promote that. We tried to target audiences with kids with autism or special needs that could be in a sensory friendly environment and not being overcrowded. And then the game night we had and the field day. The movie night of Friendship is always a big hit. We normally get 500-600 people coming to that. The community art contest that was led by the 175th committee. I mean, 30 people or so maybe show up to that. Obviously the Fall Fest, which we had great weather this year, which helped attribute to it. But again, probably had close to 5,000 people we're estimating that went through the park that night. And we ended that night with the drone show. Train viewing platform opening, as Jeff mentioned, we received the award for that. The Birds of Prey presentation, or Hawk Mountain. Hawk Mountain brought in different varieties of birds. That was sitting room only for that event, especially the last one. And then we had the bird walks at Generations. And lastly, our Paws with Claws event and the tree lighting ceremony. Maintenance side of things, we have just over 240 acres in our park system. We have 17 parks, one of those being the maintenance agreement with Kosher. Out of all those parks, we have 14 playgrounds, 23 athletic fields, approximately 7.5 miles of trails, and we do that with 6 full-time staff and 10 seasonal staff. So again, going back to the work order software that we have this year, we were able to put some numbers to some of these things. So last year we completed 146 work orders, which are basically anything outside of day-to-day maintenance. Our project hours for any of our bigger projects, we had 2,948 hours attributed to that, 2,415 hours for mowing, 1,950 hours for restroom cleaning and trash hours, 1,920 equipment maintenance hours, which is maintaining the mowers, the trucks, all that kind of stuff. And then we had 605 hours logged for setup and tear down of events. And then 400 hours with athletic field maintenance. This isn't all of them. This was just the bigger ones that I pulled out when I pulled the report. Projects last year. So we had Grantham Playground, Grantham Pond, the Winding Hill North fitness equipment, the train viewing platform, the open space, trail extensions at Winding Hill North, and then we had our maintenance storage building that we built. We planted 64 trees last year. A lot of them went to Winding Hill after we did the open space. We installed 14 benches, replaced 15 picnic tables, and installed 1,500 feet of split rail. So these are just some of the projects. There are pictures of the projects that we went through. So that's our Grantham playground equipment that you guys chose. The pond, which was the first phase of the project with the pier and getting the pond redone and water flowing back to the pond. The fitness equipment, which seems to be a big hit and celebrity endorsed by Brett Michaels. The train viewing platform. We did get, they consider it a grant, but it's an in-kind donation from Norfolk Southern for train axles to make benches out of, but they're taking their good time getting them to us. So hopefully sometime this summer we'll get them out there. The Winding Hill open space, as a lot of you know, was an unused area. As they were developing Winding Hill, they gladly brought their fill material down to get rid of it that we got for free. And then we got it leveled out into a grass open space and put a trail around it. And then some of the material that was dredged from Grantham also helped cap that project off. The trail extensions we did at Winding Hill, mainly for safety. Obviously, we do have an extensive trail network at Winding Hill, but these were areas identified near roads and parking lots that people were using and kind of causing safety issues. And lastly, our storage facility. We took over shop pictures because basically this has been a 5-year project for us creating our facility, and we're very happy to have the space to work out of now. Affiliations. So myself and Eddie are part of PRPS and NRPA. So in 2025 with PRPS, we won the Excellence in Recreation Award for the Sensory Guard at Winding Hill. And then again this year for the train viewing platform. In 2026, we're hosting a certified playground safety inspector course here. So that's a national certification. We did this a few years ago, and we filled the course with 50 people, and we're expecting to do it again. So that's people all over the state coming here, seeing our playgrounds, and learning the inspection course. So we'll run. Me and Eddie attain the certification right now. We normally run a couple of our other guys through it because we get free spots. We don't require them to pass it because it is an extensive, in-depth course, but it's good for them to get the knowledge. The 2026, the NRPA conference is in Philly this year, which is big because it's close, and we'll talk later, but we're going to encourage people to at least get down and check out the expo because it's very close. And then we're also affiliated with IBCCES, with the Certified Autism Center accreditation, where 14 of our staff are trained in autism awareness. What's next? We have Grantham Phase 2, the trail project, parking lot, stormwater going on down there. Generations, we're going to start establishing some of the meadows down there that are already encased by the trail system. So the Quiet Meadow, the Bird Watching Meadow, and Butterfly Meadow. Simpson Park, ADA Creek access, which we discussed. We're looking to do some pollinator buffers at Winding Hill Park North and South. So in between the parking lots and railroad tracks, there's about 4 acres between both parks that just grow up in weeds, and we mow it every year. So we're going to try to kill that off and get something actually beneficial to grow in there. Ashcombe Development Trail, I think we mentioned this a couple times. It's just a very short trail that goes into Monroe Township that we're partnering with their development. It would connect the Ashcombe development to West Shore Free trails and give access to all those through the back end of that development. At the dog park, we're looking to install permanent shade structures, so there'll be one of those in each section. We do have trees planted down there, but it's still a fairly new park, so we'll try to get some shade down there for those folks. We're looking to do court resurfacing at Fisher Tennis Courts and Trout Run Basketball. So the Fisher Tennis Courts are coming up on 7-8 years since they've been put in. I wasn't here for part of it, but some of that is chipping, and I think it was coated a little too soon because it was all contracted out at the same time. And they normally ask to let it sit for a year or two, which we did with Trout Run. So Trout Run is bare pavement because it was just put in 2 years ago. So we'll get that epoxy coated to match all of our other basketball courts. And then, as I mentioned earlier, the epoxy coated restroom floors at Winding Hill North and South, which help us with maintenance as well. So events for next year that are already planned, as Eddie said, we're still working on some others maybe. So we have the Treat Tuesdays coming back. That's summer Tuesdays between 11:30 and 1:30, where we have Kona Ice and Sarah's Creamery come to Friendship Park and Winding Hill Park North during the summer when the kids are out of school, just to give ice cream and that kind of thing. The Food Truck Fridays, every 4th Friday again from 5 to 7. We'll have music paired again with that. I think that was a big hit last year. The Stories Time series that I mentioned with the library, that's every Tuesday. So if you're interested in any of that, that would be go through the Simpson Library to register for that. The movie night again, we have dates for that. That'll be July 10th from 6 to whenever they can start and end the movie. And then again, it's sponsored by Alba Orthodontics. They're the ones that put that on for us. Fall Fest this year is September 25th, same 4 to 9 time frame. The tree lighting, again, sponsored by Alba Orthodontics, where they buy the tree for us. We are looking to get as large of a tree as we can planted. And then we started determining if we still are going to buy a temporary tree for now or not. Depends on how big we can get. So that's on December 6th this year from 5 to 6:30. And then we got a lot of feedback for Falls with Claws. It was a last minute event. I think we had 2 or 3 weeks to advertise it, and we had 30 people show up in a short time frame and lots of feedback. So we're going to do that again. And our Santa is actually one of our summer maintenance guys and loves talking to people and loves the dogs. So he really enjoys coming to do that for us. He's very outgoing. And that's our crew. That's it. That's all I got.
Not bad. Truly excellent. Presentation was super, and everything you guys did, thank you. I know we all appreciate it. What a great way to close tonight. Great things on the horizon, good accomplishments in the past. And we will see March 4th who the board appoints. I sincerely hope they listen to us as they have before. Anything else from anybody in the audience, anybody on the board?
One comment about next month's meeting. So that is during the PRPS conference. So unless we get something pressing issue-wise, we're probably going to cancel that meeting because we'll be at the conference.
I'm sorry I didn't bring that up. I'm on probation again. The PRPS conference, by the way, Carmen and I attend for a day, but that you see all the products out there that are new. The exhibit hall, you get a lot of information from. So it's very worthwhile sending staff to, along with the interaction with the other agencies. So thank you for going that. Thank you to the board for supporting you on that. If there's nothing else, we are adjourned.